Hello, Living Dead Dolls fans. This is Josh, aka Doggiepants, and I'm coming at you in partnership with Mezco Toys for another Living Dead Dolls review. Before we get started, I just want to say, with everything that's going on in the world right now, to all my gay and lesbian brothers and sisters out there, I love you dearly. You are valid. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Hugs and kisses. So today, though, to get back to the fun stuff, we're going to talk about Series 31. I finally got them in. I'm so excited because this is a really, really good set, you guys, and you're really going to love them. The other thing that I want to show you, too, is I've gotten a few more cards in for the Resurrection Series 10 that should be out this summer. So I thought I'd show you those as well. Of the 4 that have been sent, I received 3 of them. I didn't get the Tessa one, which is a big bummer. So if anybody has the Tessa one, you should put a photo in the comments below. But here's Goria. I did show you this in the last video. The cards are huge if you haven't seen them before. I mean, look at it. You know, it's big. This is the back of the correct answer Goria. So there's the bottom of a skirt, right? We don't know what that is. And then second week was Purdy, and I did get the Purdy card as well. There she is, beautiful. This is the back of the Purdy card, which it's obviously like an X of some kind there, and these pillars. Now, the third one was Tessa, which I didn't get, but I did get the fourth one, which was Captain Bonnie, and there she is right there. And these two cards do appear to go together, so there it is. If you haven't gotten over to the Living Dead Dolls group page on Facebook, you should. One of the admins there has created a bit of like a puzzle, so you can see the cards that have been revealed so far and see kind of how they fit together, which is really, really cool. So super exciting time. Yeah, keep your eyes out for more cards. I'll try to show them in the video when I can. But again, today we are here for Series 31, which I love. So here we go. Let's get started. We're going to start with the coffins. Here we go. It is a black coffin, no handles, really, similar to what they've been doing a lot lately. What's cool about this is it is a black tissue, right? Because these dolls are all kind of like the things that go, bump in the night, the scary things in the bedroom. So, the shadows, that's kind of what we got going on here. This one is for the dark. And what's nice about this is the picture right there does correspond to the doll in kind of an interesting way. So it's all parts of, let me pull up another one too so you can kind of see. It's all part of that original promo photo that we saw. Like here's Creek. There you go. You can see the 2 little eyes sticking out there. So they do correspond with the doll's eyes. The dark obviously sees through her tongue and only has 1 eye, so that is what that is. And that's like peeking out from the bed. Again, that little image on the side there is pulled from the original promo shot that we saw right at the bat. It does say the name of the doll, The Dark, and then have her poem right there. And also an interesting thing is their death certificates don't actually have dates, and I think it's because they're supposed to be kind of like spirits of some kind, or they're not actually dead per se. You know what I mean? So they don't have a death date, but they do have the usual poem and the name on there as well. There's another thing that I want to mention with this set. When we first started doing Living Dead Dolls, all of the dolls were designed by Ed and Damien. As the years went on, Mez, as in Mez from Mezco Toys, also got in on the designing of dolls. The first doll that he ever designed was Misery, which was a Hot Topic exclusive quite a few years ago. But since then, he's actually designed quite a few dolls. And like, it changes, it depends on the series, but a lot of times Ed will do 2, Damien will do 2, Mez will do 1, so forth. This series, we found out, are all dolls that were primarily designed by Mez. Obviously, the 2 guys had a lot of say in the way they were actually produced finally, but it's kind of cool. It's a Mez set, and I really do like this set. So excellent job, Mez. Really good work. Yeah, like always, I'm going to start with my least favorite doll and go to my favorite. But let's get started, shall we? Here we go. First one is The Dark. I was actually kind of surprised by this because The Dark is such a cool doll, but again, all five of them are really good dolls. So it was kind of hard to choose in order. What's interesting about this doll too is that like in another series, she might have actually ended up being my favorite, which I think does say a lot about the strength of this series. But let's take a look at her outfit. She does have kind of a big fancy dress, which I love, a big fancy black dress on a Living Dead doll. It's all one piece, but it does have this like tiered section in the front. And what's interesting is, I'm going to lift her arms. The way that this is constructed is it's all one piece, but it's sewn. There's a seam that goes right down the side here and right down the side here and gives us kind of like a second layer. So I can actually see there is a second layer of cotton that's put over top of this bottom layer here. So it gives the appearance that it's tiered, but it is all sewn together as one piece. There's a little bit of ruffle. This is all black, so it's kind of hard to see in the video, but there's a little bit of ruffle that goes up on this top tier and then comes down the side and goes around the back of the dress. On top of that ruffle, there are two little like ribbons with bows right there in the top corner. There we go. And then this skirt is all kind of gathered together right here at the bodice. There is this appearance of a belt. Again, it's the same material as the rest of the dress. It's pulled back, here, let me pull it right back here, into a giant bow in the back, right? Again, this is not a working bow because it is Velcroed right down the back, so it's permanently sewn in that position. So there we go. The bodice and the arms of the dress are really, really nice. She's got these really great little details, these fasteners down the front of the bodice right there. And then it does have a bit of a puffy sleeve. The sleeves are rather long. They're narrow here, and they do flare out at the bottom. And it is double layered here as well. I don't know if you can be able to see that in the actual video, but do you see how it's like a double layer cuff there? Yeah, so that's a nice little detail. I like her dress. It's really simple and really detailed at the same time. Where this doll... Oh, also let's talk about her boots and stuff. Here we go. She has tights, but it's a little bit thicker than we've seen tights in the past. It's almost like pants. And then she does have the Lizzie Borden kind of witchy boots. But that's nice that they put those underneath this dress. They didn't have to, which I appreciate. Yeah, so what I was going to say is where this doll, where her strength is really her amazing face, right? So we've got these black lips here. She's a screaming doll with an eye right there on the center of her tongue, so she sees out of her mouth, which is really, really cool. And then I'm going to pull her bangs back so you can see what's kind of going on underneath here. There we go. So she does have a really serious, severe eyebrow, really bloody eyes, and then it's black in the center. These eyes, what I didn't realize is that these eyes are the like hollowed out eyes. So it's similar to Isabel without the raised bit all around the edge, right? So it's not just painted black. There is like a cavity in there where the eye is recessed in there as well. That makes sense? Yeah. Her bangs are long enough that they go right over top of those eye holes. I like this cute little notch in the center that gives room for her nose too. It's kind of an interesting little detail there. So you can just see the blood dripping down her cheek. You know something's going on, but you're not quite sure what it is. The hair on this doll could be a little thicker rooted. Like if I pull it apart, you can see that there is, there could be some bald spots, but it's not bad. There have definitely been worse Living Dead dolls in the past. You can see that there is some thickness to her hair there. It could have been thicker rooted, but it's not terrible. Yeah, but that's her. That's the Dark. Great doll. Again, in another series, she could have been my favorite. This one, she came in last place, which is crazy to me, but love her. The other thing I want to mention is those bangs. They came with some gel in them. I did brush them out. I always brush the gel out of my doll's hair. I cannot stand gelled hair. And that is a major point for Mr. Creek, who is next up. His hair was gelled to within an inch of its life. But we'll get to that in a minute. His outfit actually is one of the things that I really love about him. It's like this old school looking outfit. It's got this beautiful wool jacket, right? And look at the pattern on that jacket. It's really, really pretty. And we've got these buttons that go all the way up. I don't think people realize how far up they go on the side there. So these buttons here. This does not Velcro shut. There's no snap or anything that keeps it shut. Just be aware of that. So it does kind of stay open. He's got the standard Living Dead Dolls boots, and then he's got these long socks. See? They're actual socks that go underneath his little shorts here. So those end about here. And then we've got this piece. I'm going to take off the jacket so you can kind of see how this all works. This is all one piece, and this does feel very Living Dead Dolls. You know, they've got a shirt with a collar here, but there's no sleeves because they don't want to have a lot of volume underneath the jacket here. The only time that I've ever seen them actually do that is with the Scarecrow back there. They had long sleeves, but normally they don't. This whole piece, this whole like short shirt and vest is actually one piece that just Velcros right here up the back. They tack the vest here on the sides to the shirt, so it can, like, you can get a finger up there, right? But it's all one piece. It can't be pulled apart. And then there's the white shirt underneath. Obviously, he is a clear doll to give him the illusion that he's a spirit of some kind. And his little fingers are dirty, which I appreciate, little dirty hands. His face has this appearance of a little crack right there. There's blood pouring down the side of his face. A really intense blue and white eye with a black in the background there. And just the like slightest little bit black to help define his mouth right there. He's got really good hair for a boy doll. It's a little intense, the rooting coming out of the front. It really does. My roommate referred to him as like, he looks like he's a plastic cup with hair growing out of it. So it would have been interesting if he had maybe the slightest widow's peak, but for the most part, it doesn't bother me. I think it's really, really pretty well rooted, pretty thick. The only problem is it is like, it's crazy the amount of gel that's in his hair. I washed his hair and brushed it out to give it a little more shape, which I appreciate. Yeah, but that's him. I do want to mention with these like clear plastic dolls, definitely him, also Umbrell in this series, and also the posies that came out a few years back. The white posy, pink posy, so forth. What's interesting is whatever plastic that is, it has a little bit of give to it in a way that the normal plastic doesn't. So it bends slightly differently. And there really is a tendency for the joints to get stuck. So if that's the case, if you pull, this was the case with him for sure. If you pull your doll out and his leg doesn't want to bend, really be careful with it, because there's people that are like, oh, I'll just break it, make sure that it bends. But you'll end up snapping the leg and destroying the doll, and you don't want to do that. What I recommend is to actually run it under a little bit of hot water to help loosen up that plastic and like loosen up some of that glue too, and then just really slowly work it until the joint opens up. It takes a little effort, but then you don't end up, destroying your doll. Yeah, but that's Creek. He's a great, great doll. I love a good boy doll. I always say that. He does have a few stray threads. You can see right there in his hand and stuff like that with his jacket. And I'll go by and snip them off. They don't really bother me that much, but great doll, great doll. So that is Creek. Next up, and this surprised me, I have to say, you guys, is Beneath. Beneath is one of those dolls that, like, I first saw the picture of her and I was like, God, I don't know how I should feel about that doll. It's really intense. The pink is a lot. She'll probably be my least favorite from the series, whatever. And then I got her, and I can't get her out of my mind. Like, I'll walk past the dolls, like I normally do, but I always tend to grab her and pick her up and just mess with her hair. And that's why I know I actually like a doll. I contemplated making her higher on the list, which was crazy to me because I wasn't that interested, but kind of love her, so that was a real big surprise for me. But Beneath, you guys, she comes in third place for this. So let's look at her outfit. She's got standard Living Dead Dolls Mary Jane shoes. She does have the black tights that go right up, right to below the belly button like they always do. And then she's got this cute little black and pink striped dress. I'm going to hold it up so you can see a really good detail of it, right? We've got this intense white collar here, and it's almost like, how would I even describe that? It's a little bit nicer than felt, but it does have like a little bit of fuzzy texture to it. And this cute little black tie right here with ribbon, and the teeniest little black buttons right there in the front. It is a rather simple, like, what do they refer to that as? Like an A-frame I don't know. It's a really simple dress, right? It is got a little bit of sewing right there underneath the bodice to just give it some shape. Really simple. She's a white doll. What's great about this doll is the face paint. So her face mold is the first time we ever saw this face mold was with Beelzebub. Let me pull it so the lights aren't doing crazy things. Beelzebub, so that like smiling, sinister, teeth exposed. Let me hold up real close so you can see. That's a different face mold than yeah, it's just the Beelzebub face mold right there. But what I love about her is it looks like she maybe ate like 5 cherry suckers and she's going on this like sugar rampage craziness running around the house. I kind of love that aspect about her. But what I didn't realize in all the promo shots were look at all of the airbrushing pink detail on this doll. So it's gosh, I wish the lighting on the white dolls sometimes gets a little crazy, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. There's like airbrushed pink over her ears and underneath her chin and around her mouth, obviously around her eyes as well. But that pink really adds to the doll in this weird, haunting way. She's got these intense red eyes with blue and white pupils. Again, the sticky red, like almost blood going down her mouth. And then the shadow around her eyes, it goes up to these points, which I wasn't a big fan of, but when you see the doll in person, it actually is not as intense as it looks in the promo shots and probably on this video as well. Her hair is incredible. So I love a good pink haired doll. I think they're really creepy because they're so cutesy. I love the like cutesy creepy. It's always been my favorite. You know, it does have the kind of standard Living Dead dolls choppiness that we see a lot of times, but the shape is fairly decent. It lays nicely. Again, similar to the dark, it could be a little bit thicker rooted. We do see a couple little bald spots if we move it around, but for the most part, it's rooted pretty well, and her bangs lay down nicely, which I love that Living Dead Dolls figured that out because she is adorable. But yeah, but that's her. That is Beneath. So we're 3 through. Next up is probably a lot of people's favorite from this series, and that's Umbrell. She's a very dark doll, so hopefully we'll be able to see her well in this video. What's so special about her is the way that they built the plastic, obviously, but also this outfit. Like it's a different fabric than I've ever seen them use before. It almost feels like it's got like the jersey kind of stretch to it. And it's very flowy, super, super flowy. She's got these cute little buttons that go down the front of the dress. Can you see that? There we go. But what's interesting about her outfit is it's made drastically different than I've seen them make Living Dead Dolls outfits in the past. And that is, it's not Velcroed. It's these 3 buttons at the top are actually, I'm going to try to open it for you. Got to be careful when opening these. Come on. Work for me. Work for me. There we go. Oh, it's not 3, it's 2. I'm so sorry. But they're snaps. They're working snaps. So you can actually open the dress with snaps as opposed to Velcro, which I think is just a really nice detail. There is a little bit of volume at the top of her sleeve right there. It does come down rather skinny and then open up into kind of like a witchy pointed sleeve, kind of like the ones that we saw on Beltane, but this is just a different material. There's with this skirt, I'm jumping all over with Umbrell, but this skirt, is it just one layer? It is. Yeah. It's got some extra panels kind of sewn in the corner here. So it gives it a lot of volume. Like look at all of that volume that comes out. It's like a handkerchief dress almost is what it feels like. And so it does have a lot of movement at the bottom. The other thing that's really interesting with this outfit is this hood. It's a giant hood, but what a lot of people don't realize is this hood has a little bit of bendable, let's put it up here, bendable metal inside, so you can actually create the shape of the hood that you want it to be, right? So it does hold its shape really, really well, which they've never done before, and I love that. I want to kind of take off the dress, expose her a little bit, so you can see what is going on with this doll. Now, obviously, we see that she's got the clear feet on the bottom that's very similar to Creek, but she's a painted like black doll up top. And it's because she fades out, see? So on her torso, it goes from clear plastic to this painted black, which I love. And the blackness goes all the way down her arms as well. It's just a really cool design for a doll, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna snap her up so she's not so exposed. Come on. Umbrell, you're taking up so much time in this video, girl. What's going on? All right. There we go. Now let's take a look at her face. There we go. Obviously, she's painted black, but she's got these really intense red eyes, which really pop. I love it. And then she's got this hair, and the hair is very reminiscent of like Alison Kruk's. So it's got all of that curl and volume to it. You don't want to run your fingers through it or anything because it's going to just turn into like a crazy mess of like an afro. And if you pull too hard, like I just pulled right there, you can pull this hair out really easily too. So you want to be super, super careful with hair like this. The other problem with hair like this is because there's so much volume on the bottom, they have to root it extremely, extremely light. So she does have a lot of bald spots. You want to make sure that those bald spots are covered up. This is true of Alison Kruk's too. This is not a new thing with Umbrell. She does have some problems, but like overall, the design of this doll is really, really strong. Getting her hair back into her hood is difficult. So I'm not going to try it right now, but just be aware if you do take her hood down, you pull the hair out, which I'm sure you will if you're an open doll collector. It's going to take a little while to get it back and perfect in the actual dress. And I might display her actually with the hood down because I think her hair is really, really pretty. But yeah, there we go. There's Umbrell. That means that my favorite doll of the series is Thump. And you know, when promo photos of these dolls first came out, Damien had mentioned that Thump was just kind of an unusual doll. They hadn't done a doll like this before, and he was really kind of into it. And I am too. It's made. She's made. She. That's the other thing. Like, is it a boy or is it a girl? I don't know. And it kind of doesn't matter, which I love those kind of like gender neutral dolls. It doesn't really matter. Boy or girl, who cares? I call her a girl because, I don't know, she just feels like a girl to me. So I'm going to say she in regards to pronouns for this video. But here we go. Here's this amazing coat, right? So it's this really kind of thick wool coat. And look at the details on this coat. That is a pocket there. That is a working pocket. You can lift that and put like the tiniest little thing inside there if you wanted to. They're on both sides. She has these really extreme cuffs at the bottom with these metal buttons or like little teeny, yeah, buttons. And those button details go all the way up this jacket. And obviously this jacket is a very high collar that goes up to her face. One of my favorite things about this doll is that you can kind of see that something's going on with the face, but you're not exactly sure what it is. You have to take the jacket off to see. Her pants are like pinstriped, black and gold, which we haven't really seen before. They're just high-waisted pants there. And then we've got the standard Living Dead Dolls boots, but this gold detail is really, really cool, right? These hardcore punk black boots with a gold sole and gold laces. I love it. The other thing you're going to notice about Thump is that she does have the Nosferatu arms, right? So these are the arms that are just a little bit longer than the standard Living Dead Dolls arms, and they have this kind of clawed hand that come out. We saw that recently on the Witch from the Wizard of Oz series, but it was first seen on Nosferatu. Oh, another thing with the coat I just want to point out is these nice little detail right there on the shoulders as well. Just everything about this coat is made extremely, extremely well. It is Velcroed here along the front, kind of where a double-breasted suit would be. You pull that out. Just open the whole thing up so you can see what's going on underneath. And there she is. You know, some people have thought that this was a little cheesy, and maybe it is. The eyes peeking out from this painted-on crack in her chest. But I kind of like it. I think it's cool. I love the like exposed teeth up on her jaw. It's just so cool and so nice. And that's all painted. None of that is put into the mold, by the way. Just a heads up. That's just painted. The other thing I'm going to notice is that her face paint is like that streaked. I'm trying to figure out a doll that would be comparable to this. But all I can think of is like the Vanishing Hitchhiker. It's really subtle, kind of streaked, like a grayish color on white, with a little bit of shadow around the eyes. And like the After, she has that recessed eye socket to make her look, extra haunting. She has this amazing, like Ripley style haircut from Aliens, which I'm digging, like full Sigourney Weaver realness, which is nice. It's very, very curly. There is a part that goes right down the middle here. It's pretty well tamed. It's not super unruly, and I just think it adds to the doll. Everything is just kind of weird with Thump, and I like that about her, and that's why she is my favorite. But yeah, but that is Thump. That's all of the dolls, you guys. I'm going to pull them up here so you can see them all kind of together. Again, a lot of them are very dark in color, which does make Beneath pop. In my room, it was actually saying, I don't think Beneath fits this set very well because she's so pink, but I kind of like that. Kind of like that there's one doll that's like, hey, look at me, So that's Beneath. Super cool. Yeah, but this is an incredible set. Like I said, I'm sure everybody agrees. This is a set worth getting. So get out there and grab them, you guys, while they're still affordable. If I was a betting man, I'd put money that Umbrell and Thump are gonna end up being worth something down the road. So yeah, grab them while you can. Thank you guys so much for watching Series 31. I'm sorry that it took so long to get this up. I am at the mercy of, these dolls being sent to me, and I would never complain because they're sending me these dolls for free. So I'm like, man, thank you, please. I will do whatever. I will come rub your feet. So yeah, thank you again, Mezco Toys. And thank you guys for watching. With all the craziness going on in the world, my heart goes out to you. Hugs and kisses. Stay safe. Love you guys. Bye.
Most of the times you and I exchange jokes no one else in the room understands. 31-year young lady, tell me, how can I catch your brown